Welcome Strategy Battle Gamers to another GBHL YouTube channel video. You're here with your channel host GBHL James, and I'm back for what I promised would be the bonus ending to my last Speak Friend in Question. You last saw me just before I was set to fly off on my stag do adventures, so I did have to rush my attempt at Speak Friend in Question. I also noticed that Jamie managed to put one out, which was very, very good to see. So obviously you got 2 videos there for the price of 1. No, really, you got 3 videos, because at the end of my video, my Speak Friend in Question last week, I promised that at some point during this next week that I would finish it off, because there was a ton of names that I hadn't managed to answer questions for. And rather than sort of stock up the next Speak Friend in Question, which unfortunately me and Jamie haven't been able to get together again this week, it's very, very tough at the moment, that you would get a bonus video. So there were tons of you that got comments, so I hope you enjoy this. Make sure, as always with these videos, because they are talking based videos, there's nothing visual, you don't get to see any miniatures or anything, that you've got your paints out. This is a great time to get some painting done and complete your backlog. You will have to excuse me, I am full of lurgy, undoubtedly because of the lack of sleep and the amount of alcohol consumed over the weekend during my stag do. I have to say, by the way, if anybody has never been to Galway in Ireland, wow, what an amazing place. I had a phenomenal time. The people were amazing. The town itself was beautiful, really, really nice, good city, really good bars. I tell you, I mean, for someone who doesn't really drink that much, one big observation is that drinking Guinness in Ireland is a completely different experience to drinking Guinness anywhere else. I hate Guinness. I can't drink Guinness. I think it's absolutely foul. It tastes really bitter. You know, it's a really kind of bitter stout when you drink it over here. I went over there. It's gorgeous. It's like drinking milk. It's so creamy, so easy to drink. On the last day, and I don't advocate this at all, I know that we've got some young viewers, but on the last day in Galway, I went through 16 pints. I was absolutely fine, because of course it was spread out during the day and I ate a lot as well, but a really good weekend. So thank you to everybody who wished me the very best on my stag do. It was awesome. So let's get to it. So to the questions that I didn't answer last week in your bonus Speak Friend in Question, we have Akthon. He's put, great news guys. This isn't a question, by the way. I think Jamie would strike against the idea of a quadruple loop. I think he would. I don't think he likes multiple questions at all. I, on the other hand, really, really do. So keep asking your questions, guys. You put, but this is just me telling you that I'll be going to Desolation of Stockport in April. Well, that is great news, and I can't tell you all how much I am looking forward to seeing you all there. Hopefully you're all going to be attending. It's the last weekend of April, and we will be doing a video soon to give you some details about the tournament itself, the rules pack, where you can find information, how much it is, how to pay, and all those kind of things. So keep an eye out for that. You have put, I'm really looking forward to meeting all you guys and playing my first proper points match. You will have a phenomenal time. And remember, it's not about winning, especially when it's your first tournament. It's about coming, about meeting people, getting to play the game you love with the miniatures that you love, and like you say, meeting everyone. That's the best thing about it. But because I don't have Facebook or anything, I can't look up the details. I know it's in Stockport at the end of April, and it's £30 to join, but I'm not sure about anything else, like method of payment, times and rules. Okie dokie, well there will be some rules pack available on the weekend itself. Like I say, it's the last weekend of April. Now paying in advance is very, very important, because we have to pay in advance for the venue and also for your food and lunch, which is all included. Now what I can do is, because I do have Facebook, so if I go onto the Great British Hobbit League Facebook group, which, by the way, like I say, there will be a video covering all of the details for Desolation of Stockport 2015. I honestly can't wait to see everybody, because of course this year with the wedding, I'm not really attending tournaments, and that is very sad, because it means I'm not getting to see everybody. Hopefully I'll see most of the guys that I know at my wedding. I have invited and put an open invite to all of the great friends, and you'll know or not whether you are a friend of mine. I have invited you all, of course, on the 6th of June to come to my side of the church, because you might not realise it, but of course I have made some really good friends. So if you feel like you're a good friend of mine, then you are invited, of course. Okay, so Desolation of Stockport 2015. So yeah, because I'm not getting to see anybody really this year, I'm looking forward to our own events even more. Okay, so you can make a payment of £30 via PayPal to ilovewargaming@gmail.com. It's important that you try and send this from a PayPal account as a gift. That's very, very important to us. if you can't pay via PayPal, loads of people haven't had any problems, but it's weird, some people have. If you can't pay by PayPal, then there is another way that you can pay, and I'll tell you that now. So PayPal is ilovewargaming@gmail.com, £30. If you're struggling with PayPal, then you can do a bank transfer using online banking to 090128, that's a sort code, and the account number is 345-15856. So if you didn't get that, you can pause and you can rewind it. So those are how you get there. So it's the 25th and 26th of April, it's £30, it's 600 points, one army, there are 7 games, okay? Which is obviously very exciting. That's 7 games over 2 days. Now the address for this is Northwest Gaming Centre, which is on Hallam Street, Stockport, SK2 6PT. If you just look for hotels in Stockport, that's a really good call. The Britannia is where most of the Hobbit players tend to stay. We welcome players aged 12 or over, but anybody under 16 must be accompanied by a parent or guardian. This is just because there's a bar in there and stuff. Okay. So a non-refundable £5 deposit is taken on each ticket for the hall hire and lunch, and the cost of the ticket includes lunch on both days. Okay, it's just basic stuff, you know, like burger and chips or curry and rice, that kind of thing. Okay, day one, the schedule, the first, so registration starts at 9 o'clock and the game one draw is between 9 and 10 o'clock, and the first game is from 10. Day one ends after 4 scenarios at 6:30. The scenarios are to the death, Lords of Battle. There's a custom scenario Take and Hold, all the details of that are in the rules pack, and there's a custom scenario Scouts. At 6:30 we will go and get something to eat, and for those of us who can, we'll have a drink and stuff, and then day 2 it starts at 10 o'clock, and there are 3 games which finish at 7:15, and the award ceremonies at 5:30. So that's all I'll tell you for now, because we will do a full video on it, but those are the details. The most important ones, of course, are being able to pay. So let me know below if your plan is to come to Desolation of Stockport 2015, and let's make it, let's beat our own record as being the biggest independent tournament there has ever been. It'd be good to get over 60 this time, that's what we're going for. Okay. So thanks very much, Akathon. Next up we got J22. He's put, hey guys, got a few questions today to stay in the triple loop. Good to hear. You put, firstly, great work on last week's Speak Friendly question, James. Doing a video by yourself must be tough, so very well done. Hopefully Jamie will be back this week. Well, you never know, he might do another Speak Friendly question by himself as well. It's, of course, it's always good to see Jamie. We both got very different styles, of course, which is probably why we complement each other when we work together. But of course, this isn't a job, and we're both busy boys, so, and we don't live next door to each other either, and Jamie doesn't drive, which is a big pain, which means that it usually takes him about an hour when he's doing any kind of commuting. Obviously a bit easier for me when I'm travelling to him and stuff, but that's not always possible with where my business is and stuff, so yeah, it is tough. In terms of doing a video by myself, I'm not too fussed doing them by myself. You know, it was very hard at first. You know, you have to, there's this element of wanting to do some form of scripting, and you've just got to get into a flow. Imagine that you're having a conversation with the person that you're actually answering the question to, which hopefully is what we do, and hopefully it doesn't take too much enjoyment out of the videos when we're here on our own. You put, my first question is for James. You put, how is your wedding preparation going, and are you excited? Also, will you be inviting the SBG community to your wedding? As I'm sure there are many of us, me included, would love to attend and show our support to you. Haha. Well, that is lovely. Thank you very much. Well, I'll answer the first part first. In terms of wedding preparation going, and am I excited? Yes, I'm very excited. I've only got 3 months. 3 months. So when I proposed to Jane, you know, nearly 2 years ago, I was very surprised that she wanted to leave it 2 years to marry me. Maybe that was more of a buffer time for her to make her mind up whether I was the right dude or not. It was pretty sensible, really. And I thought, wow, you know, that's a long time to wait, really. I was thinking maybe a year. I'm glad that we did leave it 2 years, because weddings cost a lot of money. A lot of money. It's one of the reasons for not going to tournaments and stuff this year. Not because going to one tournament is particularly expensive, but going to lots of them is very expensive. If you go into all of them, which is what I tried to do last year. So yeah, it's a little bit daunting. Most things are paid for. Jane is stressing about how much money there is sort of still to pay on certain things like the catering and everything, but persuading her that we are going to be okay and everything's going to be paid for is very hard. So it's stressful. Getting married is a stressful thing, but it's just trying to make it as enjoyable as possible as well. So yes, I'm very much looking forward to it, looking forward to getting out of the way, and I have to say, not just enjoying the day, I'm massively looking forward to the honeymoon, and I'm massively looking forward to being married. Jane is my absolute best friend. I can't imagine life without her, and it's very amazing when you find that person. So I can't wait for her to be Mrs. C. In terms of inviting the SBG community to my wedding, yes, I've said this a few times. I've said it at a couple of tournaments. I've said it individually and privately to a couple of people, and I've also put it out there on the Facebook page. I have made some great friends in the Hobbit SBG community. There are some people who probably even don't consider themselves as having a real positive impact on me, but you don't realise how much sort of stress and pressure being involved in the Hobbit strategy battle game and doing this channel has taken off of my business in lots of ways. Because I mean, although I'm very focused on my business still, and it's still a big part of my life, one of the biggest parts, of course, doing the Hobbit strategy battle game has massively chilled me out in lots of ways. So it's been an escape. I've made some great friends, people that I really would consider really good friends. If you're watching this, you know who you are, and you are all invited. I would love to see you at the church. Of course, you coming and having a sit-down meal is a no-go because it's well expensive, but coming to the church, making a weekend out of being at York is great, and who knows, maybe having some drinks later on, certainly having some drinks the night before on the Friday night. You're all more than welcome. Now, I am aware that there is a Slayer Gaming tournament on the day before, so I hope some of my strategy battle gaming friends will make the right choice, as much as we want to support their tournaments, of course. I only get married once, so come on, make sure you go to the right place. So yes, if you would like to come to the church, it'd be good to see you there. You put, secondly, what are your opinions on proxies? I know Tom and Damien discussed this one in one of their early Palantir, just once. But I was curious to know what you guys think and if you allow them or not. Okay, proxies is a sliding scale of what is a proxy, what is not, and what is acceptable and what is not. We actually have a Speak Friend in Question FAQ for this. So if you type in Speak Friend in Question FAQ, you'll actually see Jamie and I going into a huge amount of depth about what we think about proxies, and that will save me talking through it now. So pause this video, go check that out, and then come back in. Okay, and it is worth looking at those Speak Friend in Question FAQs because there are certain questions that come up all the time. We've not done one for a while, I have to say, but if you're thinking about asking us things like, what do you think of this Isengard army? Then I suggest you go to Speak Friend in Question FAQ. Okay, but lastly, have you ever thought about switching armies for a bat rep? So James letting Jamie use his Rohan force and Jamie letting James use his Wood Elf force, etc. As it'd be really interesting to see the different tactics that would be used when you're familiar against playing one particular army, but not when you have used that army yourself. Yes, we have. That's been put to us before. We've not done it. I think Jamie is a better player than I am. Certainly a better player than I am. So what I'm about to say is not taking anything away from Jamie, but I actually think that works as a disadvantage to Jamie because playing as Wood Elves is a high level of playing. It is. Playing a Wood Elf, a soft Wood Elf army, defense 3 across the board, takes some skill. However, it is a much more optimised list than playing as a cavalry army. Playing as a cavalry army, it's not that it takes more skill, but you do have to be used to it all. You do have to. There's a lot of things to think about and a lot of things that can go wrong. I think it would massively advantage me, not just because of that as well, but because I play as a cavalry army. I'm very aware. Not that Jamie isn't. Jamie knows how to beat a cavalry army, but I'm very aware of how to destroy me. So I think it puts Jamie at a bit of a disadvantage. I think he might agree, but I've not seen his answer on the Speak Friend question, so that'd be interesting to see. You have put, after that, once again, thank you for spawning us with such great content. Absolute pleasure, I'm glad you're enjoying it. And you put, I shall continue to do my best to support our Hobbit hobby. Thank you very much, Jay, and look forward to your next question. Okay, next up we've got Matt Patterson. You put, thanks for answering my question last week, James. It's a pleasure. My question this week is, I've been playing as Boromir, Fellowship version. That is a cool profile. I don't care what anybody says. Boromir from the Fellowship is so much fun. I was wondering why the heck does he have 6 might? Seems a bit crazy. Seems a bit cray-cray. Because he is awesome. Boromir, I mean, have you read the books? Boromir is a beast. Boromir truly is an absolute tank. Do you know what's really weird? Like, I'm a huge fan of Sean Bean, but I think in the movies, because they're trying to show that the ring has a hold on Boromir, it makes him seem weak, and they shouldn't have done that. The trick would have been to show Boromir and to really try and make the effort to show Boromir as being just awesome in so many ways, and show how powerful the ring is and how it corrupts him. Not that he's weak and then is corrupt, you know what I mean? So, but Boromir is an absolute tank. He's a beast. You know, 6 might is well deserved in my opinion. And such a fun profile to play with. If you've not played with Boromir from the Fellowship version, Boromir of Gondor, then I suggest you do it because it's great fun. One of my favourite profiles. Okay, so next up we got Ross Diggle. He's put good use of my Robies Hercules. So this is my new nickname apparently, Hercules. If you watch Disney's Hercules, obviously the skinny kid version. Although I have been putting on a bit of tank, as it were, a bit of timber. Ross thinks I look like Hercules. That's not the first time that someone said that to me. Disney's Hercules, of course. As a fellow big-nosed hobbiteer, I feel your pain. If it makes you feel any better, I've had Peter Kay look-alike for the past 9 years. I don't see it. You really do look like one of my clients and one of Jane's clients, though. You really do. Like, you look like you could be brother and sister. You're not, but you do look like you could be. You put so infuriating as he's from Bolton, I'm from Bury, the neighbouring town. Anyway, my question for the week. Can Jamie get me a discount on Lego? It's my birthday this month and I want to treat myself by getting some Lord of the Rings Lego that I can build and play with my 5-year-old. You'll have to ask him. You have to ask him. I have no idea. I know that there's a limit on what employees of those kind of companies, there's a limit on what they can get as through discount. So there's so much that they can spend a year. Knowing how popular Lego is and how much Jamie likes it, and of course he'll use it for presents and stuff himself, I think he's probably gone through that, but you better ask him. Okay, next up, Ross Diggle again, he's put, by the way, Belgians are called Belwegians. Yeah, that was me having an absolute fail in what Belgians were called. It's because it was, in my mind, it was called Belgium, not Belgian, obviously, so someone from Belgium isn't Belgians, and that's what was in my mind, they're Belgians. So you can see why later night I got a bit confused. Okay, next up it's Harry HD Miniatures from Australia. This guy came to come and meet us on his trips around Europe and had a few pints with me in Manchester. So remember, if you are ever coming through Manchester and you want to catch up with your favourite hobby hosts, then feel free to get in touch. And me and Jamie would love to meet up with you for a pint, that's no problem at all, or even a game. You know, we always need people for battle report, so if you want to come down here for a battle report, just let us know. You put, hey guys, been focused on getting my PT business up and running again, good lad, and training like mad, so I haven't had much time at all for the hobby. Hey, it happens, I've been like that myself lately. Question for this week is, what style do you play when using Evil? Mixed, Horde, Mounted, Magic, etc. Cheers. Jamie uses a mixture of elites and horde with his goblins. So he has a really tough front rank, he has really cheap rear ranks, and he has a lot of things that buff his army, like shades and dwimmerlakes and raids and stuff like that. So he has a good mixture of horde and elite, good kind of balanced army, lots of models. For myself, I don't really play as Evil, so I can't really say what I would go for. I really like the Isengard Force downstairs, that's pretty balanced. It's about a third elite, a third ranged and a third normal with mid-level heroes, so but no, I can't really say because I've not really played them. But cheers. Also on an unrelated note, James, how's the bulking going? What's your training split like? How did your stag party go? Keep up the good work and keep smashing the training. Okay, well, if you're not interested in hearing how my training's going, I suggest you fast forward now. The bulking was going very, very well. I did 12 weeks of bulking using Wendler's 531, which is a strength training program, and I did the boring but big variation for the assistance-based exercises. So Wendler is about those key lifts for strength. So you're talking squats, deadlifts, bench press, and military press on this one, which is a surprise really. I would have thought that there would have been a pulling-based one, like bent over row or something. But use those for strength. It's all worked on percentages, which increase sort of over the course of a 3-week period. You have a week of deload, and then everything goes up again for the next 3-week cycle. And it's basically, because it's 4 workouts a week, you've basically got upper body, lower body, lower body, rather than any specific splits. If I was doing more specific bodybuilding, then I'd probably spread that over 6 days and actually really target specific muscle groups. But yeah, it's going really well. In the first 12 weeks, I put on quite a bit of timber, went up to 17 stone. Obviously, quite a lot of that was going to be body fat as well. I've since stripped back quite a lot. I am now on week 17, week 17 or week 18, and I'm below 16 stone again now, so some of the fat's coming off. So it's going quite well. I've lost a bit too much weight this week, so I've not been very well and I've not been training. So and the stag party was great. Like I say, Galway. If anybody's going over to Ireland, get yourself to Galway. Really good. People mega friendly. Loved them. Loved the Irish. You know, everybody made us feel incredibly welcome, and I'm going back. That's how good it was. So thanks very much, Harry. Next up, we got Chris Lee. He's put, hey, couldn't ask a question last week due to heavy amounts of high school homework. Hey, listen, those are the important things. Make sure you get that stuff done. You know, that has to come before everything else. Make sure that you are studying hard and doing all of your work first and foremost. He put, so here I go. There have been rumours that Games Workshop extended the Lord of the Rings Hobbit licence, but what gets me is they should have just done The Hobbit, unless more Lord of the Rings releases. I know the chances are slim, but what are your thoughts? Well, I have no idea that they have actually extended that. I know there's a rumour, but I'm not sure anybody knows apart from the people that need to know. It would be great if they've extended it. And you say that they should have just done The Hobbit, but then surely they lose the rights to sell the Lord of the Rings miniatures and to use that branding, which would obviously not be good for them. So that's probably why, if they have extended, they extend both. So thanks very much, Chris. Next up, we got the Lord of the Rings SPG team. But would you guys like to see a Fëanor or Morgoth models? I think that would be very cool. I think that would be cool. Go and check out Shadow and Flame. I'm sure they've done some conversions of stuff like that. Next up we got Carl Woolley. But hey guys, been dead to you for a few weeks. Boo. Well, at least you're back now, pal. So I have a couple of questions backed up. Hope that's all good. Yeah, no problem at all. Do you know what's up with For Long Fat clearly having a warhorn but having no rules effect? Do you agree it seems a bit odd? It's never seemed odd to me. I've never sort of looked at it and thought he should have a warhorn rule. He's a very good profile for his points. He doesn't need a buff with a horn, because remember, a character model having a horn is much better than a warrior having a horn. It's much harder to kill. +1 courage. That would be. He would need to be more points. He needs to be at least sort of 5 or 10 more points, at least. Considering a horn's 20 points, so. But no, I've never thought that's odd. On another note, for an upcoming 750 point tournament, I'm thinking of taking Aemon Knight of Pelennor, 4 Sons of Ale, 5 Westfold Red Shields with 1 banner, Ergenbrand Eowyn, and a bunker type captain on foot leading 4 Warriors of Rohan, 4 Rohan Royal Guard with throwing weapons, and 4 Outriders. What do you think of this list? Is it best to spread out the bows to ensure shots? Cheer my bros from a fellow Romy. That's what I like to hear, another Rohan player. 750 points. I would say that you don't need your captain. So ditch your captain and invest in, so you've got a full warband of infantry. Ditch your captain and invest in more troops. So you've got obviously Aemon Knight of Pelennor with his armoured horse and everything. Erkin Brown with his horse. Eowyn, horse, armour, shield, very important. Yeah, and maybe try and get a few more Westfold red shields and stuff in there. I'd say ditch the captain and do that, and that would be fine. If you want a foot contingent, then that's fine. But just bear in mind that will take a higher level of play, and you need more bow fire really for that to work. So more Westfold red shields, I would say. Okay, I hope that helps a little bit. Next up, we got Lord of the Brown Ring. He's put, I'm glad for one that they had Legolas instead of Glorfindel. I think he would have made the Fellowship too powerful. Also, there probably would have been a rift between him and Boromir immediately, and it would have taken the focus away from Aragorn unless they had Glorfindel die. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I think, like I say, I know that their reasoning is that, you know, a great elf lord would attract too much attention, but also there has to be that sort of fear that, you know, if any of these guys get corrupted by the ring, then the world is in a lot of trouble, because they will become more powerful than Sauron himself. I would have preferred Balin though. That would have been cool, and even better considering he played such a role in Hobbit. It would have been nice to see them go back to them. And I excuse was supposed to ask a question. I don't know what that means. I'll ask two because I'd like to stay on topic, yet ask something else. Will you guys ever consider doing a bolt action bat rep? It's the World War II game and the system is phenomenal. Easy to learn, fun rules. As for a Hobbit related question, what army would you two, or just James, like to know better or play the least successfully? For example, I would not know how to play the White Council or Arnor well and would like to improve. Thanks. Okay, so would we do bolt action bat rep? Yes. Whether or not we'll buy the miniatures or not is another thing, but certainly that's what Let's Try Tuesdays are for. So if anybody would like to come to Stockport and teach us how to play bolt action and let us use your miniatures, then there's no reason why we couldn't showcase that system. We've already done it with Warhammer, we want to do it with Space Hulk, we want to do it with all the Saga minis that we picked up, which I'm dying to get painted, because once they're done I don't have to collect anything else because it's a ready-made army. So yeah, that's the place for Let's Try. Of course we do lots of X-Wing as well. So yes, if you want to come and meet us, Lord of the Brown Ring, maybe come to one of our tournaments, then sure, we can teach you that. And in terms of what would we like to know better, and what do we not play very well right now, I would say wizards. I would like to be much better at using wizards and much more confident with using them effectively, because I've been picking it up but I'm not amazing. I would love to be able to learn to do the whole sort of fell beast thing. I think because it works similarly in a lot of ways to cavalry in terms of how you need to do things. I think I would be quite good at that, but I would like to try that. In terms of things that I don't play very well, I don't know. I mean, I don't really play many armies other than the Rohan, really. Although I've got them, Rohan is my main one. So yeah, maybe one of those. Thanks very much for your question, Lord of the Brown Ring. Next up, we got Al Wood. Oh, and this guy, he's been emailing me about tickets for Desolation of Stockport, and I have emailed him back with those bank details. So he couldn't do the PayPal thing for some reason, and so he's now got the bank details. But James, you the man! 1 hour 46 minutes of video. I had to watch it over 2 lunch breaks. Well, I'm glad that you enjoyed that, and you're enjoying all the bonus footage. You were looking weary at the end, but well done, mate. Yeah, it was quite late, and I was trying to do it with Jane in bed, so you've got to be a bit more subdued. You put Miss Jamie, of course, but the real world has a tendency to get in the way. Yeah, it does. It's a shame. We've got Blackguard are Uruk-hai mates, so taking an Isengard Uruk-hai shaman as an ally is a great idea for giving fury to Blackguard. Blackguard are Uruk-hai? Are you sure? Like 100% sure? Let's have a look. Oh, there's my source books. I'm gonna have a look now. Okay. Mordor. Are you sure Blackguard are... Oh gosh, they are. How interesting. I did not know that. I didn't realise Blackguard and Barad-dûr were Uruk-hai. Well, that explains a few things, doesn't it? So yeah, getting an Uruk-hai shaman as an allying in some Uruk-hai would not be a bad shout for getting those in there. Good call. Especially considering, you know, a really tough army for Isengard to crack are dwarves, because of course all the defense 7 and fight 4 kind of negates their strength 4. Oh, and of course their defense 6 negates their defense 6, strength 4 and fight 4 advantages. So excuse me. Okay, yeah, that's really good. You put the 3 hunters you painted, James, are stunning. Very nice, sir. Thank you very much. I'm glad you like them. If anybody would like to look at them, there is a video where I show them off. So there's a couple of battle reports as well. You put, I think you guys need to seriously stop the double and triple loops. A speak friend and question doesn't have the same ring to it. I'm sure Jamie would agree. I'm quite happy if you to ask as many questions as possible. We have discussed in the past of whether we should have like an hour limit, so there is an hour-long show. And we do something like what they do on miniwargaming.com, which is you thumb up the questions that you like, and we read from the top comments down until an hour is done. I might talk to Jamie about that, because of course, speak friend and question, you know, being on camera for 1 hour 46 minutes is not an efficient use of time. And then of course we're answering the top questions, what people want to be answered all the time. It stops the show from rambling on, and then if people still want to get their questions asked, then they can obviously come back and they can ask them in the next speak friend and question. But it encourages you to have really good questions as well. So let me know what you think about that. You put a question for Jamie. He will have answered this in his speak friend and question, so I won't answer that. Keep up the good work, guys. I look forward to speak friend and question each week, and thanks for the great content. Wow, well, 3 speak friend and questions for last week, so that's pretty cool. Awesome Wargaming. Hi, my question is, have you ever played War of the Ring? I have not. I think Jamie might have done. We do have a speak friend and question FAQ video if you want to check that out. Speak friend and question FAQ War of the Ring, and we answer some of our opinions and feelings about War of the Ring in that video, so go and check it out. And you put Awesome Wargaming also put, also if I went to a GBHL tournament, could I use Galadrim with Mirkwood Elves? As long as you have the appropriate warband leader leading it from the right army list, then you can ally those together. But it's important that if you bring Galadrim and you bring hang on a minute. Do you mean the new Mirkwood Elves, or do you mean... Because if you mean from the 3 peoples, Lothlorien and Mirkwood can be mixed together in that, because they're part of the same army list, which is Lothlorien and Mirkwood. If you mean the new Mirkwood Elves, then you need to have the appropriate leader leading each warband. So I hope that helps a little bit. Next up we've got Lucas Whitcroft White, right? He's put, my question this week is, do you think this is a competitive force? Amber, Lord of Blades on an armoured horse, leading 6 Eastling Cataphracts, Eastling Captain with shield, and Eastling Falchion leading 8 Eastling Warriors with shield, 4 Eastlings with pike and shield, an Eastling War Priest leading 8 Eastling Archers, an Eastling Dragon Knight. All the warriors have the Black Dragon upgrade. Do you think I should change anything, or maybe the Dragon Knight mounted? And if so, what troops should give up the Black Dragon upgrade? Always a good idea to have your back row of pikes having the Black Dragon upgrade, because then they're lending fight 4 from the rear, so you're not going to lose them. I would also suggest that that you don't really have enough troops, so if you are going to put the Dragon Knight in there, you could mount it, I suppose. Is the Eastling Dragon Knight, is he an independent? Is he an independent hero? Eastling Dragon Knight, yeah he is, so he can't lead things. I would put him on a horse if you are going to include him at all. I would say that your 8 Eastling Warriors with shield needs to change to 4 Eastling Warriors with shield, and then 8 with pike and shield, because you you have to, a pike supports a pike to support a front rank. If you want to do the pike block, of course, I would maybe ditch your Easterling archers. I mean, you could have them, I suppose, but they're not. Easterling archer, they're not amazing, really. They're not amazing. So yeah, maybe have a little bit of a look at that. But there's a couple of little tips. I'm not a huge fan of Easterlings, so we do talk a little bit about Easterlings in our Fallen Realms week, so go and check out that series of videos. Next up we've got Jack Berry. Hi guys, my question this week, is there any good techniques on painting horses to a decent standard? I seem to struggle when it comes to painting horses to a good standard. I wonder if there are any good methods or ways to paint good horses, as I'm currently painting my Rivendell Knights. Thanks, as always, for the great content. Well, painting anything is usually about the colours, not about what you're painting, in my experience. So for example, when you learn to highlight red, to properly do a nice blend of highlighted red, you know, obviously with the right shading and all that kind of thing and the right kind of blend, then you tend to be able to do reds okay. And when you, with certain browns and with certain blues and greys and everything like that. So it's exactly the same with horses. So it's about knowing the colours and the technique. So for example, if you were to paint a black horse, then you need to obviously do your base coat, then paint again once it's dried with black, with Abaddon black, and then use Eshin grey. Make sure to use a medium so that it's reasonably running, or you could use water I suppose, but then you can get a little bit of a pooling sort of coming back, and then sort of edge highlight, so go around sort of the muscles. Eshin grey is a good way of doing black horse and highlighting a black horse. You know, white horses are an absolute pain. I could not tell you how to do them really well. Grey horses are quite easy, so with a grey horse what I do is I'll use like a grey, so I use Dawnstone a lot. So I'll do Dawnstone, then I'll do a shading of Nuln Oil to get the shade, then I'll do the Dawnstone over the raised areas again, and then I'll do Dawnstone plus some white as a sort of a blend of it in the highlighted areas, and then maybe dry brush a little bit of white. Dry brushing can work quite well on horses because of where the muscle light is. So remember, dry brushing, put a little bit of paint onto the brush, get as much paint off the brush as you can onto some tissue paper or something, and then just go over them, over the model very lightly over the edges, and that can be a good way of bringing out the highlights. I'd say a good place to see a tutorial on painting horses if you contact GBHL Damien or GBHL Tom and see if they have any issues left of SBG magazine, which is a fanzine which you can purchase. Download it completely for free as a PDF if you want to, but much better to have a physical copy. Kev Deadmarsh Spectre, one of our channel sponsors, he does a great painting horses guide in there, so go and check that out. I hope that helps a little bit. Next up we've got Barry O'Neill. It's Tandoori Barry, who, congratulations, he has just won Ripon Wargamers competition and won a Smaug. He put £20 into the raffle and he won a Smaug, so well done there. So you've got, hey guys, it's been a while, but just wanted to wish you a fantastic stag weekend in Galaim. Go away, James. Is that the Gaelic version? It's a shame you couldn't make it, Barry. It would have been, you missed out. It was fantastic. I'm sure you'll have a great time. And Jamie, just wondering what you thought of Weathertop after. Was it as you expected? He loves it. He absolutely loves it. I was worried with you filming the scenarios in London that you might not be able to bring it with you, but after the little cameo in the Buckleberry Ferry one, I'm looking how it worked for the scenarios. Yeah, he's left it down in London with Damien, so he didn't transport it back. So he's quite happy to leave it at Damien's, but he wasn't happy to leave it here. I think he thought I was going to steal it, even though my Smaug, don't tell Jane, is living at Damien's at the moment. So yeah. Okay, so next up we've got Wang11. He's put, hi guys, thanks for answering my last question, pleasure. You have recently got me back into the hobby, so thank you, that is great news, that's what we're here for. My question is, how do you feel about an all-mounted Gondor force, including Faramir and Boromir on horse, and 15 knights and Minas Tirith? Thanks. It's very small on numbers, because you will have to get into combat, because you've not got any ranged attack, you will get swamped pretty easily. You are massively reliant on your heroes doing really, really well. If that was to work, what you would almost have to do is imagine that you are like an all-hero force, almost, and imagine that it's just Boromir and Faramir, and try and get Boromir and Faramir into the business of killing troops and stuff, or mid-level heroes, reasonably quickly, and use your knights and Minas Tirith only to counter and to do little things like preventing the heroes from being surrounded. So charge in obviously when you've not got priority and things like that, and keep your knights back far enough away to counter charge, and don't be too keen on throwing loads into the counter charge, because you've almost got to play it like all hero with a bit of support for that to work. But it'll be fun, and that's the most important thing, of course. Okay, so next up we've got Christian Syrup Jensen. You put, "You're absolutely right, James. It was indeed the Anduin River where Isildur lost the ring." And I agree, you do get a point by default when Jamie can't show up. That's great news. So current score is 2-0 to James. On to this week's question of Middle-earth's Madness. The first person to say the answer correct gets a point. I presume because Jamie completed his video last time. I don't know whether he'll have answered it right or wrong, because I've not watched the video. What was the original name of Minas Morgul? As always, thanks for the great content, you guys rock. I believe it was Minas Ithil. Minas Ithil. Let me know if I'm right or not. I'm pretty sure it's Minas Ithil. Or is it Minas Anor? No, Minas Ithil. That's what we're going for. Let me know if I'm right or wrong. Okay, next up we've got Lonely Cube 1. Hi James, and hopefully Jamie. It's very nice that you all miss Jamie in these videos. I do miss him as well. You just can't do it all the time. Sorry I missed the last couple of weeks, but I'm back now. I have 2 questions today. The first is quite simple, but I can't find the answer in the Hobbit rulebook. Can a hero use its fate points to avoid wounds on its mount? I assume that it could, but now that I think of it, I don't actually know if this is possible. No. Not unless it's a mount that has fate points and stuff. So if it's like Azog on the White Warg, I'm sure that you can pick and choose where you use the fate from. Yeah, I think that's the only example I can think of where that is the case. But no, if you are riding Aragorn and you're riding a horse as Aragorn, and Aragorn's horse gets killed, you can't use Aragorn's fate to save the horse. The horse is dead, which is always really sad. You put my second question is about the command Compel Magical Power. In its description it says it can even force the victim to drop an item that is holding. Does this mean, for example, I can compel Aragorn and make him drop Anduril, leaving him unarmed for the rest of the fight? I can't imagine that to be so, but then what does that line mean? It's for things like scenario play, so it's when you are holding a light or heavy object. So if you read the section of the rulebook about light and heavy objects, that should elaborate a little bit more. But no, you can't get him to drop his weapon. The only thing that can make you destroy a weapon is the spell Shatter, I believe, which is Black Shield Shamans, I think. And you put, these are pretty simple yes/no questions this week, so you're welcome, Jamie. Well, yes/no if it's him. Seriously though, thanks for your help, both of you. P.S. James, I too ride for Wrath, for Ruin, and the Red Dawn. That's right. I really need to get painting my riders though. Painting the riders isn't the problem. It's painting on the damn horses. That is the problem. Painting the horses. Okay. So next up we've got Faith in Heresies, but thanks for answering my question last week. I have found some alternative winter colour schemes considered for Thranduil's host in the Battle of Five Armies, and I'm tempted to try them out. My question this week is, I'm entering a local Games Workshop tournament and I want to know if my list is decent, as this is my first time playing competitively. My list is Gandalf the Grand Horse, Elladan and Elrohir on horse with heavy armour, 4 groups of Rangers of the North, with 4 Rangers of Arnor. Thanks, keep up the great work. I don't think that that's necessarily competitive, because you would be better off going all hero, or, I mean, put 4 groups of Rangers of the North. So you mean 4 Rangers of, do you mean 4 groups of Rangers of Arnor and 4 Rangers of the North? Thanks, keep up the great work. What you are is you're very light on troops. So if Eladan and Elrahir are leading the 4 rangers of Arnor, then you only need 1 ranger of the north. Eladan and Elrahir have to be in the same warband as well, so they can't lead 2 separate warbands, and Rangers of the North can't lead it. So I'm not sure what you're going for there. Maybe clarifying. We'll come back to that one. Next up, we've got 19 Mark F91. You put, hey guys, back in the old Lord of the Rings rule, I'm pretty sure that the spell Blinding Light lasted until the caster ran out of will. Now it seems that you have to channel the spell to get this ability, as the unchanneled version only lasts the turn that you cast it on. Just wondered if this made a big impact on players who use the spell. And also, your views on how best to use the spell, channeled or unchanneled. Cheers, happy strategy battle gaming. Well, I know there's a couple of people who leave it unchanneled. They'd rather keep the point of might. They'd rather keep that point of might for whatever else. And they just like to do the Blinding Light as and when they need it. But most people channel cast Blinding Light, and I think that's what's changed really, is that most people will channel it and use that point of might. Thanks very much for your question. Next up we've got Jack Hartwell, which put, hey guys, thanks for answering my first question last week, helped clear things up for me. So, as I'm now in the loop, I suppose I have to ask you another question. So this week I was hoping to get both of your opinion on the Grimhammers. Do you think that they are an effective troop choice compared to something like Khazad Guard? I personally can't make up my mind yet. Thanks guys, looking forward to hearing your response. Akathon has pointed out that we had already filmed it, but of course this is bonus Speak Friend and Question, because I didn't answer all of the questions. And it looks like if I had done, the episode would have been nearly an hour and 45 minutes, so it's a good job it's split up. No, if you compare them to Khazad Guard, then no, they're not as good. They're not as good. Khazad Guard have got bodyguard, they are strength 4, and they are defense 7, whereas Grimhammers are only strength 3 and defense 6. Yes, they have throwing weapons, but they don't have bodyguard. No, they're just points wise. If they were a point cheaper, or 2, maybe a point cheaper, or if they were strength 4, I'll tell you what would be good, if they were burly. If they were burly, then they would be worth it. That would be the best way to fix Grimhammers. But they're lovely models, and don't just get things because they're competitive. Get the things that you like, and then try and make them work. So next up we've got Big Will's Diaries. He's put, so the Gondor list I asked you about last week got crossed by the Uruk-hai. You're right, Aragorn just didn't pull his weight for how expensive it is. That's a really good way of considering whether a hero or whether something big is worth it. Will it kill that number of points from your enemy? So you've got to think, is Aragorn on his own, Aragorn King of Lesser, is he capable of taking out that much of an army, with everything else going on? Probably not. You put, my question this week is just about the Desolation tournament you guys are running. Any idea when you'll be doing a video with the details? So I fancy give me my first tournament a go. Well, that's a great news. Well, I already talked about it a bit in this video, so I hope that helped. If you are on Facebook, go to the Great British Hobbit League Facebook group and ask to join the page, and check out the events tab and look for Desolation of Stockport 2015. All of the rules pack is in there. I've no idea when we're doing the video, hopefully soon. Okay, so we've got Dr. Dan, this is the second to last question. Hi guys, been a little while since I last commented. Apologies, it's been hectic. Question for James, are you enjoying the Saxon books I recommended that you got for Christmas? Keep up the good work, Dan. I didn't get them for Christmas. Can you believe it? Is that the only thing I asked for? No, that makes me sound really ungrateful, doesn't it? I did ask for them for Christmas and I didn't get them, so I am not reading the Warrior. I'm not reading the sort of Chronicles of Uhtred or Bebbanburg. I've listened to one of the audiobooks, but I would love to start reading them. So I've not been. I've actually, when I've been having a chance to read, I've been rereading Lord of the Rings again, just because I love the book. Thanks very much, Dr. Dan. Last question, it's William Farquharson. He put, I can't believe that I'm posting this after the Speak Friend and Question deadline. I hope you guys are a little late with filming this week. Please don't kick me out of the loop. I'm so distraught now that I can't even think of a question. Well, I'm surprised that you still exist as a result of missing the loop. Usually people start to fade away, they look at their hands, they start disappearing. Got to stay in the loop, very important. But okay, I got one. What is your favourite unnamed hero model? not the stats, just the model. I'm sorry for posting too late. Thank you, James, for keeping Speak Friendly Question alive and putting in all this extra effort. Hey, well listen, we enjoy doing this, and when I stop enjoying it, then I'll stop doing it, and I'll stop putting the effort in. So yeah, that's how it works. Okay, favourite unnamed hero model. Unnamed hero model. I do like the Captain of Rohan model. I hate the profile. I really do like. I like the Mahud King. What I'm doing now is I'm just scanning through the book of what I like. I like the Mahud King. I really like one of the. I like some of the Urukai captains. I like the one from the Ballista set. What else do I like? Unnamed. I like the unnamed ring wraiths, if that counts, as models. I really like. Well, the Corsair Captain was quite fun to paint. Mahud King is a good one. Mahud King might be my favourite actually. He was beautiful to paint. Kingdoms of Men. Let's have a little look. Unnamed hero models. Oh, I really like the Grey Company models that they did for the Rangers of the North, and some of the Rangers of the North ones. They were pretty cool, and the Dunadai models are very cool. Yep, Captain of Rohan is a good model. What else? There's a few out there, isn't there? Yeah, that was probably what I would go for. I'm going to say the Mahud King. And that is it. That is the end of your bonus Speak Friendly question. So I hope that gives you guys an opportunity to get even more painting. What I will now do is I will have a look at what questions you asked in the next Speak Friendly question that we did. Remember, you could only comment in the video that I made. Who knows, maybe Jamie will have made one as well. We'll have Speak Friendly question overload. But as always, don't try and ask a question in this one. I'll block the questions for this one. If you've got questions to ask, make sure that you ask them in Speak Friend and question number 63. That sounds right. Okie doke, guys. So don't forget to comment, like, share and subscribe. Support your Hobbit hobby. Follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. And as always, team, happy strategy battle gaming.